And here we are. So this morning I am doing some fun warm-up drawings. You know, I'm one of those guys that really loves to draw. And a lot of times I just have to get down and I have to get dirty and I have to start, my day off with drawing. And today we're working on some Bristol board with the Prismacolor Color Erase Blue Pencil. I love these. And I've said this before 1,000 times. I love using these because they don't smear and I don't get a lot of, stuff on my hand, and they're really, good for a base if I decide to go ahead and transition into markers or something like that. So, what am I drawing? First of all, I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday. Holidays are great for me, and for one thing, I love Christmas time. But also, I had been under the weather for a while, and things kind of broke a little bit. I'm feeling a lot better, and man, it really stinks whenever you don't feel good, and I had not felt good for a while. So, yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm just having a little bit of fun. And encouraging you guys to just really draw something, create something, whatever you may be doing in this particular day. Up here in the mountains, unfortunately, it is really rainy. It has been raining so much. For those of you who don't know where I live in the very tip top of Georgia, right in the Appalachian Mountains. Literally, I live on a farm. I don't have a lot of human interaction unless, of course, I go into town. Literally, it's like stepping back to probably I would equate it to 1985, 1983. We do have internet access, which is good. But we just got high speed probably about 3 years ago, and you're like, oh my gosh, are you kidding? No, high speed. We got a different, a different mayor in, and that particular person was really vehement on getting the internet coming up to snuff. So we've had a couple of really great companies come in and stick fiber, so I was able to get fiber so my internet wouldn't suffer. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine having dial-up access in 2022, 2021? That's kind of where I was at. I was like, I can't have that. So what am I drawing today? Just, fleshing out some forms, just fleshing out some character designs, just having a little bit of fun, getting my hand moving. That's one of the things that I always express to you guys is important, is, getting your hand and your eyes paired up for the morning and getting stuff moving. And that's important, especially if you're a working professional. And if you're just wanting to improve something a little bit every single day, then yeah, I think that doing this is a really good way to do that. All right. So what I'm doing right now is just I'm putting in my roadmap. You saw I started out with a circle, then I'm doing a 3/4 view, so I went ahead and did that line of action, that lattice line down the center, and then I got my eye line in there, and I started putting some of the peripheral items that I thought might make for an interesting drawing. And of course this is a stylized character. I'm not really basing it on anything in particular, but there always has to be some type of degree of realism, especially if you're doing a character that is human. You can't have an eye on the cheek or something, something like that. So that's basically what I'm doing right now, is I'm going in and really just putting in some of those little periphery items. Have that bottom lip kind of come out. It's like, ugh! Let's go ahead and get the eyes in there. The eyes are, he's got his eyes squinting pretty significant. come over and up, over and up. Right. A little bit of baggage here. Baggage. There we go. You got this. Since he's squinting, we're going to have that muscle right there kind of pooched out. All right. A little bit of angular design here. See how I draw these lines like this? It gives me a better idea of where the planes are. Planes being those three-dimensional invisible facets of the face that help me determine where stuff is. That ear's wrong. Wrong. Go ahead and have that collar come around. And it's important, you know, whenever you guys are designing characters and stuff, it's always fun to really kind of flesh things out, and you can push and pull forms and you can stylize and whatnot. But, you know, whenever you do like a collar, you know, you want to be able to draw through and find out where it is on the other side. And that helps me determine where stuff is. A little bit more angular here. Okay, so then we're going to start like this, comes around, and I think the center of his nose is a little bit off. Because here's the part of his mouth. I'm going to have that come up. And there's the nostril area. Okay, that comes up because, again, we've got that scrunching muscle. We're going to have this come out just a little bit more. Here's the part of his nose, and you got that other nostril on the other side, which you can barely see. Maybe he's had a couple broken noses here and there. And I'll put little artifacts here and there just to shore things up a little bit better. Look at his eyebrow. Right. Have this one come up. I'm going to be able to see it because it'll be hidden partially by his hat. Here, and then we'll shade this in slightly to help pull that forward a little bit. Again, this is a stylized character. It's not based on anything in particular. Here's the center line of a hat. Here's the other line. Okay, maybe have some hair come down. Maybe that ear. I keep fighting with that ear. There we go. Comes around. There's that part. Maybe he's turning. Part of the collar. And then I come to the mouth. Here. Got that around here. And we got that nice teeth that come around. Again, you know, being a rough sketch, being a concept sketch, it's something that even though, you know, I want it to be, you know, I want it to look a certain way, I'm so open to change, you know, in this particular venue way of doing things. It's got a hat patch that comes up. Here's the brim of the hat. So you can see comes really quickly once you start fleshing things out. So, you know, like right here, I've already got a little bit of an issue. So I need to change this. It's a little bit thicker. His jaw comes out. Because I want that. He's pushing this down. So I need to go ahead and erase that. Little shading under the nose. Bring this down just a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. So that's where we are with that one. And of course, I've got my handy dandy pen right here that I can go in and start inking. But since this is just a really rough warm-up sketch this morning, I'm not going to go in and do that. I am, however, going to turn this pencil on its side and put in a little bit of value here and there to indicate maybe a 5 o'clock shadow. Go ahead and shade in this eye a little bit more. He's kind of a sinister. He's got sinister qualities to him. Those sharp edges, that nose, that, you know, this item right here shows that he's been fighting. So, got that brow that comes up. You're not going to see. Here we go. Another one comes around. It's good to draw in, but not really hard line, especially if you're going to be changing things a little bit. You know? So let's have this here. I think that collar's up a little bit too high, but I'm gonna let that fly. I think I'm okay with that. Go ahead and put some value in here. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, what am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do next? Alright, so let's do this. So let's go here. I don't do a lot of women. I don't draw a lot of females. And I think that's probably by, I don't want to say by design. I know a lot of guys really focus on females. I don't. I'm more of a creature guy. So, you know, whenever I do draw females, it is, I don't want to call it a struggle, but it is a challenge for me. You know, I like doing females, and I think I'm okay. You know, I can definitely do a female character. It's just not my bag, you know. You know, some guys are exclusive. They do, you know, anime characters and female anime characters, and they're all super beautiful, and they really go in there and make them incredible. But it's just, you know, it's just one of those things. I haven't, you know, I haven't really landed as far as drawing female characters. I never allowed that facet of my artistic endeavors to really go in there and do that. So if you see me mess up, that's because I don't draw females a lot. You know? Yeah, why don't you draw hot girls? I just, it's not my jam. You know? I don't know. Why don't you draw Viking girls with scantily clad armor? Because they would be killed instantaneously in a battle. That used to be a running joke. You know, the guys would draw these really hot girls with, you know, accentuated attributes. Let's just leave it at that. And they would put this, you know, a belt with a sword and boots and you know, a real like a chainmail brassiere, and then all of the rest of her skin would be completely exposed. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. She would be killed. And all the guys are like, yeah, but she looks so hot. I'm like, dude, you need to get a life. You know, not only that, you got some interpersonal issues that you need to deal with. You know. Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who draw hot girls all the time, whatever. I'm no judge. It's just not my bag. Here, gotta have the eyelash. Okay. Here. What I'm doing now, again, is just trying to iron out where that. Let's go ahead and have that eyebrow come up, because she's a little foreshortened because I have her head tilted back a little bit. Let's go ahead and have this here. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong here. There's a lot of things going wrong here. Have that bottom lip come out. She needs to jut out a little bit further. Again, I'm following that line right there, trying to determine what makes the most sense. Have that bottom lip come out. Just get a little beauty mark right here. Beauty mark, yeah, a little beauty mark right there. Yeah, a little beauty mark. That's good, that's good. A little beauty mark. Her teeth come around. Here, okay. Around her teeth here. And her tongue. Got that eyebrow. Here's that eye. I keep moving around because I want it to have balance. But also, I'm at that spot where I'm like, so. Okay, so 3/4 view, what I'm doing right here, you know, this would be the inner part. I'm going to go ahead and draw this real quick. Here, we're going to have that nose. Going to fade off right here. Here's the other part of her nostril. So this will be the inner part of her eye. So this is where her eye starts. This would be the center part of her eye. So I've got to really determine, you know, where I want that eye to start. So I'm going to have like here. I keep referencing that other eye because again, you know, I've got that eyelash that comes up here. Yeah. And then I've got that other part of the eyelash. I'm not going to connect right there in the center. So let's go ahead and flesh that out here. Got that real thick eyelash, and then there's got another part of that eyelash that comes around, you know, comes down a little bit. Her hair is going to be partially coming around. Again, you know, you want to have that come out. And here's the top part of her head. And a lot of times it's really good to draw just to have good reference. That back part of the head comes here. And you measure to make sure you're in the right spots. Okay. As I completely mess this drawing up. Okay. Here's the eyebrow. It's down too far. Because she's lifting that eye up. And here's the other eyebrow. Let's go ahead and have that come down. I'm just going to come up and around. We can't see that because of this hair right here. Comes out. Yeah, you can tell that I don't draw girls that much. And then we'll shade this upper lip slightly. So pull it out a little bit. Have this fun hat that comes around and it kind of covers her ear a little bit. You know, comes out. Here's the top of it. Okay. So now we're going to get into correcting some of my boo-boos. Comes up. Round. There's that eyelash. Part of the eye. Let's go ahead and have that. Her eyes are partially closed. We're going to come here. You see how I draw this line right here? So I come over the nose and I determine where the other eye starts. It doesn't work all the time, but it's much better to get something on paper to just sit there and keep messing, quote unquote messing. Well, let's go and have this here, messing up. So the eye socket is large, right? So you've got this skin fold that comes here. You can see I did it over here slightly. You got that fat pocket right there, but you can't see it because I got the hairs. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, so let's have that teeth come down. You can tell that I'm dreading certain areas of the drawing already. Let's go ahead and have those teeth come up because I haven't, you know, I don't have the proper perspective. I keep putting off this eye. So let's just do it. Okay, have that come around. Keep checking where that pupil needs to be. Okay, and the iris and the inner part right there. So let's go ahead and shade that in. A little highlight in there. Okay, shade that in. Let's do the same thing over here. Shade that in. Put a little highlight in there. Yeah, the eyes are a little wonky, but I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. Here we go, I have that inner part of the eye. Here's that socket. I'm going to shade a little bit here to kind of establish that plane. Okay. She's got thin eyebrows. But I can't have this come out like this because it's going to fight against that shape right there. So I want to redefine and have that come up. here. Good. Let's have that one right there. Again, I don't want it to jut out like that, so I'm going to go ahead and have that come here. And that kind of coincides with this line right here. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line because it don't make no sense. Let's go ahead and shade this a little bit again because I want to establish that plane. Have that hair come around. Good. Let's have this here. A lot of times it's easier to draw hair. Instead of drawing each individual strand, what you can do is you just draw a shape and the flow of the hair. I'm seeing that this is a little bit thick here. Okay. That way, have it kind of curl up here. Whenever you go to actually draw a few of the strands, you've already established the direction that you're going to take. Okay, so let's go down here. Let's do her neck. She's got chicken neck. A little bit of chicken neck. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit thicker here. So it's going to be right about there. Chicken neck. That was funny. Okay. Okay, so a little pro tip for you guys. Whenever you do girls or young children, what you want to stay away from is a lot of forming lines. Forming lines being, you put wrinkles in, especially if you want to make it a young girl. Right? You don't want all these lines that quote unquote muck up the beauty of the artwork. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw in some of these eyelashes. Eyelashes. Yeah, you don't want to put in a ton of these. Normally in a guy like this line right here, it's there, but in female drawings, you want them to be less accentuated. Okay. Okay. Teeth. Have that wrap around. That bottom lip is full. I don't want to. I want to have a little bit of variation of line weight here. Excuse me. So let's go ahead. We'll shade a little bit here. And again, I'm not going in and drawing every single line of her face because it'll age her, and I don't want to do that. I want her to be young, like a hipster. Okay. And normally I would go in and I would draw these, these wrinkle lines, but you don't want to do that. You just want to leave a little indication. You want it to be so pretty. You want it to have those. Those attributes that. Those attributes, soft lines, soft face, I want to do a whole, I remember back in college, I had a fellow student, and she was really focusing in on different body types and whatnot. I think that might be fun. Different types of faces, different, because this style design is very popular, in YouTube, and you see pretty girls and fun, and so I might go the opposite direction. But just have some fun with it. It probably won't be popular, and I'm okay with that. A little bit of shading and shadowing, again, to show cheekbone. Let's go ahead and draw that brim right there. And the center line of the hat, focus in on the most important aspect of this drawing, which are the eyeballs. Go ahead and have this come up. Let's go ahead and sharpen with the pencil, and we'll shade in the inside of her mouth. And you got this shadow on the bottom of the lip. Have that come around, and there's that little part of the lip that kind of comes around that again helps define the upper part right there. Let's shade that in. Okay. I watched a program the other night. I watch documentaries typically, and sometimes I'll watch shows like Ancient Aliens. And I went all the way back to the very first Ancient Aliens, and they were talking about the different capabilities of the Egyptians and how they were able to move certain rocks. And I've always been a firm believer that obviously we don't know how they did it. That's pretty standard. There's that whole philosophy from science. They're like, it just took manpower. But there's too many variables there. Anyway, so then they went in and went to Machu Picchu, which is in South America. And I took a class in college about ancient Central American culture, and it was one of my favorite classes of all time. And the tooling that it took to cut the stone and move the stone and form the stone, it just goes to show you that even though we as modern society, we think, we're the pinnacle of entire human generation, it just goes to show you that, even these days, we need these gigantic machines to carry, 100-ton blocks. And they had very rudimentary tools, or at least we think they did. I just think it's fascinating on the whole that, we as human beings think this generation is the utmost, the highest of scientific discovery and whatnot, but the reality is we just, I personally think we're lacking whenever it comes to certain things that, are done with tools and whatnot. Man, it would be cool if we knew how they did things, right? So, that is what I had for you guys today. Simple warm-up, just a little bit of fun. Let's do a shadow on her neck. A little bit of fun. I think I will. I think I'll do different body types, different types of faces, because there's so many different faces out there, and it's drawing these, stuff like this stylized, but this is, again, stylized, but it's more I don't want to say mainstream, but it probably is. It's more mainstream, especially whenever it comes to YouTube. Look at me, I drew a pretty cute girl. Ha 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 ha. And there's nothing wrong with drawing cute girls. I like drawing. I just don't do it that much. I'm more or less a creature guy. Maybe I'll have a creature crawling out of her face. Alright guys, thanks for visiting the channel. Go out and have some fun. New Year's coming. It's always fun to reflect and also depressing sometimes. What have you done with your year? Well, I stayed inside a lot because of the whole pandemic. Yeah. It's a good opportunity for you to get some drawing in. Right? Alright, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you.